Hello, curious cats. Here I am at Three Whistles in Washington, D.C., uploading the video on the history of Iran. I apologize for not having uploaded any sooner. There was little I could do about it. I wasn't feeling that great, but I'm going to be uploading, and uploading 3 different videos in the next couple of days, so hopefully that'll make up for the hiatus. Let's get into the history of Iran. What we're going to do is we're going to break this video up into 2 different parts. There's going to be pre-1979 Iran, which is called Persia, and then there's going to be post-1979 Iran, which is called Iran. So let's talk about pre-1979 Persia. So before 1979, the vast majority of people that lived in Iran believed in a religion called Zoroastrianism. On top of that, 25% of the people lived on or below the poverty line. That means 1/4 of the population was what we would classify as poor. There were a lot of people that were working very hard just to make ends meet. And there were actually, pre-1979, there were lots and lots of different sort of uprisings and mini wars that were taking place. The country had shifted religions and governments multiple times before because it's a very old country. You can see from the pictures here that pre-1979 Persia was filled with people who participated in going to the beach in their bikinis and hanging out and dinners and very much what it is that we see when we look at pictures of what the United States looked like back around that time. Now, when the group of individuals who were Muslim led this uprising, part of what it was that they were doing was trying to get people to understand that it really is unfair that people who live in rural Iran, rural Persia, and the people that live in the city, having such a big disconnect is really unfair. So the uprising that took place in 1979 was really important for the world to see because it showed that people who felt as though they were poor and not doing well could band together, overthrow a government in a country, and be successful at it. What happened afterwards was kind of interesting, though. The Muslims who decided to become the government for Iran, what they did was they started to persecute the people who lived there before, the Zoroastrianism believers. That's the name of the religion. And those individuals ended up moving to India to be able to receive political and religious asylum because they were really scared that they were going to end up dying. And after that time period, the country kind of went through a bit of a shift. And the shift was to go back to kind of an old school, old world perspective, chasing the almighty dollar, chasing the American dream is something that the government that overthrew the previous government said, hey, listen, we don't like that idea. We need to take a step back. And people at the time were like totally cool with it. They were like, this is great because you promised us that you would help end poverty. And that's exactly what it is that we need. And the interesting thing is in 2014, there was a study that was done. And at that time, there were only 10% of the population, only 10% of the population was classified as on or below the poverty level. So that's 15% less than what it was before the revolution took place. So did the government that come in help the people? Clearly they did.
Hi, as you can see, I'm back in beans again, and I am headed in to grab some coffee. But before I go ahead and do that, I want to talk to you about Iran in modern day. Now, Iran in modern day is something kind of interesting because many of you I know have seen from the World Cup that the Iranian government actually stated to the players that they were not allowed to protest. And that was on the heels of the woman who was not wearing her headscarf appropriately being killed. So as the rest of the world could kind of see, there's a little bit of a divide between Iran and what we would classify as Western culture. And that social inequality is now kind of at the focal point of what it is that's going on in the country. Because of things like the internet and Facebook and the fact that we have the ability to speak to anybody around the world, many of the young people in Iran are kind of getting frustrated because they're thinking to themselves, hey, listen, I don't mind if the government tells me how much money to pay or taxes and things like that, but I don't want them to control what it is that I do personally and how I do things for myself. So that is kind of why the rest of the world is sort of holding their breath and waiting to see, because does it mean that there's going to be another revolution? Nobody really knows. So on that note, what I would really like to see is for you guys to take the time to go through the internet, do some searches, and try to see what your opinion is on Iran. How do you feel the government is doing? Did they actually meet their promise for economic equality? Should they be sticking their nose into people's social issues and the way that they want to live their life personally? It varies from person to person, but I'd love to be able to see your opinions. Now, the next video that's going to be coming out is going to be Washington, D.C., where you guys told me to go. And then after that, I'll be doing one on Virginia Beach. So I look forward to you guys watching the videos and leaving some comments. And hopefully everything's going well and people I know up north aren't buried in snow. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.